Did you know that excess estrogen in a guy could make him have certain feminine tendencies? And excess testosterone in a lady could make her have certain masculine features that is abnormal. Did you also know that estrogen can be increased in us by simple food that we get to eat? Likewise, testosterone can be increased in a lady by the simple food that she gets to eat. I mean, I'm just saying, I just want to put it out there. This is your boy, your one and only A to the E to the N to the Henry. Thank you guys for your likes, your comment, your encouragement, and your support towards our last video, Sex on the Body. It was just mind-blowing. It was outrageous, man. You guys were really out there. Thank you for backing us up. It was really groundbreaking. And I was just filibustering, you know. I really wasn't talking so much. I just wanted to say something about the Sexual Assault Awareness Month. But since you encouraged me, since you asked me to, being the one and only talk show that listens, today I want to talk and not just filibuster. And it's gonna get real deep. You know how we do it on the show. So guess what? Lately I've been asking myself this question. It's something that is very personal. You know, I've been wondering, you know, what if I were gay, really? Because the truth is that a lot of people thought that I was, or I had tendencies to be so. And I've had a couple of friends, male friends, who had feminine tendencies, and then eventually at a point they came out and said, oh, now they're homosexuals. And then what did we do? We all said, oh yes, I knew it. I knew all these words. And I'm sure you've had friends like that, maybe growing up, and you thought probably she's lesbian. And then eventually she comes out and says, yes, now I'm lesbian. And then you go, I always knew it. A lot of people thought I was, but I'm not. And I asked myself, what if I were? You know, because right now I'm wondering, what if it is the way that we, the straight ones, church folks, the very righteous ones, what if it's the way we treat those whom we think have these tendencies or that do not fit into the mold of a man as man, or do not fit into the mold of a woman as woman? What if it's the way we treat them? We beat them and insult them and talk back at them and hate them, that pushes them to eventually become homosexuals. Have you ever thought about that? You see, this whole gay, lesbian, transgender, homosexual thing feeds and thrives on our hatred and fear. See, because we hate so much the idea that there's a guy who does not fit into the mold of what we call a man's role, or that there's a lady who just wants to bounce ball and wear a jersey. Many times, some of us just can't understand how that happens. We hate it so much. I mean, where I grew up back in Nigeria, like they would beat you up, almost kill you and burn you. We just couldn't understand. We didn't know how to manage the fact that someone is looking or appearing very different. And I get it. It happens a lot. It didn't just start today. I mean, history is rich with stories of how humanity, mankind just, we push back at and we fight and we almost kill things that we don't understand. So here's Abel. He's loving the Lord and obeying God. He's bringing out his best offering to give to God. And his brother Cain just can't understand why this guy is so dumb. And guess what? He kills him and buries him. Here's a guy called David. This guy is shagging another man's wife. And he begins to get scared because the lady says she's pregnant. He calls the lady's husband from war and tries to set him up so it's going to look like the man was the one who impregnated the woman and not really him. But this guy loves David so much. He loves the king so much. And he said to himself, he's not even going to go sleep with his wife. He wants to stay and watch over the king. David couldn't understand it. Like, you dumb. Like, are you crazy? Like, I'm shagging your wife and I'm trying to cover the tracks. He wouldn't. Uriah stayed and served the king. And guess what? He got killed for that. Think about Jesus. This guy comes here and then he begins to love the world. He loves the people. And they just couldn't get it. We're beating you, we're torturing you, we're giving you a cross to carry, we're crowning you with thorns. All we need from you, King of Kings, is to just call angels to come down and, you know, strike us, do something, use your power. Can't you just be man enough? If these guys, Abel, Uriah, Jesus, lived in our world today, how do you think we would describe them? by being so loving, being so caring, being so out there, and just being unmanly. We just might have said they were, your guess is as good as mine. So while we might not be literally killing people today, like they did in the stories I just narrated, the truth is that for every guy out there who displays certain feminine tendencies that you hate, you punish, you marginalize, you mistreat, or for every girl out there who just simply would not want to wear a dress because she just wants to bounce ball, whom you mistreat, whom you really push out and you show hatred to, there is a world out there that's going to embrace them. And we all as people and humans, we are creatures of love. We respond to love. They would respond to that show of love. They would eventually become like the ones that live around who has embraced them. And guess what? You and I will say, oh, I knew she was always lesbian. Oh, I knew he was always gay. What if we actually drive them to become like what we fear and what we don't understand? You see, I believe that I didn't become gay simply because I didn't know I could. Yeah, a lot of people told me that I was. They suggested that to me, but back at home, I received much more love, from my folks and my siblings. I received a whole lot of respect. My parents didn't even know that there was anything like being homosexual. They had no clue. So they just loved me as their son. I think I had more love that drowned whatever bullish comment people had to pass at me out there, suggesting to me that I was homosexual. Love won in my case. And today I'm grateful that I am the man that I was born to be. So I'm calling on every parent, friend, neighbor out there. Now I'm not asking you to go vote for the LGBT movement. That's up to you, it's your call. All I'm saying is that you respect your child, respect and love your neighbor the more, no matter what they tend to look like, no matter how they really appear. I'll tell you a story. April is also Autism Awareness Month, and back in Nigeria many years ago, I had this cousin whom had funny attitudes. He couldn't talk, he was always drooling and mumbling, and guess what? Everyone in my house thought he was demon possessed. And his mom could handle it, my aunt. And she took him to different kind of doctors, took him to different kind of churches, vigils, spiritual places, just to make sure that whatever demon it was that was troubling this kid was going to get out of the kid. Eventually, my aunt passed away after the whole trauma. She couldn't take it. At a point, we even tried to dispose this boy. One of my aunts took him out somewhere, and just left him out there to get missing, get lost, die or drown or something. We all ran away from him as kids. And eventually, I think about, say, 10 years ago, he passed on also. So fast forward with me, 2 months ago, this is April 2016. 2 months ago, I'm here working with someone on Autism Awareness, and I didn't know so much about autism, and I said, okay, let me research more about it so I can help you build this website on autism. And she sent me a video to give me an idea of what children who live on the spectrum look like. And when I played the video, I immediately saw my cousin. I'm like, no way. This guy was simply a child living with autism. We didn't understand it. We didn't know it. We just, punished him, frustrated him. Eventually, that drove him to die. I'm wondering right now what he would be like if only we knew and we understood and we kind of embraced and loved and helped him the more. Do you know how many inventions today were done by people who lived on the autism spectrum? So you get the drift. Hatred and fear really doesn't cut it. You just have to keep showing love and respect to everyone. And even churches, we all have to deliberately and constantly show love. It's not a battle. Try love for a change. We've responded with so much hatred and fear, and it's feeding all of that movement and creating more of the things that we really fear. Try love for a change. Love that child more. And chances are very high, as a creature of love, that he or she is going to respond to your love. And then you would have the opportunity to guide them into being all that God has really called them to be. Because how can you help someone who's run away from you because you've so much hated and punished and pushed them away? It really doesn't work. Try love for a change and love them. Hopefully, they would be all that God has created them to be. And I know you might ask the question, because I did ask myself the question, what if they don't change? They end up becoming, say, gay or lesbian. What if they really don't change? What if what I really fear comes to pass because I'm showing them love? Well, if they don't change, you too don't change. Love anyways. That's what I say. It's the only thing and responsibility that we owe to all men. And if you're out there listening to me right now, you faced a whole lot of criticisms, marginalization, hatred because you're a guy and you seem to have feminine tendencies, or you're a lady and you seem to have masculine tendencies, I want to tell you that I get you. Don't change. You see, one of the things that distinguishes guys from ladies is the way our brain works. They say, oh, guys are too to the far right and ladies are too to the far left, and that's why guys process things a certain way and ladies process things a certain way. And one thing I found with myself is people just didn't get me, because when I needed to process things very emotionally, when I needed to be sensitive, I could operate from that perspective. And when I needed to take decisions and stand as a man would, I could operate from that perspective. I kind of felt like I was a genius, but a lot of people just didn't get that, and I found that that was one of the reasons why also, they just bullied me with all of those comments. And I want to say to you, hopefully this kind of makes you feel good, there are not a lot of people like us, but don't change, just keep being you and following God, and let Him direct you to really be all that you were born to be. Now, if you've ever seen the series called Heroes, it's got to do with a whole lot of people who they said has evolved with a lot of superpowers. And something that happens in that series is that you see all of these evils, like they call them from Evolved. They always tend to be there for one another. The moment you found someone else who had superpowers like you kind of like bonded immediately. So like that movie, from one evil to another, I just want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you, really. You just need to believe whom you are. Nobody who is trying to hate you, marginalize you, created you, so they really can't define you. Let God, who created you, unravel your identity to you and be true to whom you're really, really born to be. There's really nothing wrong with you. I mean, I went through it and I'm here being the best that I can. And I want to thank you all, everyone who's shown me love all through my life. I just thought that no one was talking about those things, and people were just eventually becoming things they really weren't born to be and changing themselves. And I felt that that shouldn't be happening. And I just decided to speak up. It's fine, man. You're cool. You're good. Ain't nothing wrong with you at all. So that's it for me today. I hope that blesses you somehow. I hope that encourages you. I hope that kind of changes your mind or your notion or your perspective towards your neighbors, your friends, your kids, and people out there living today. Again, my name is Henry. I'm going to be back again and another deviation. I'm coming back very soon to talk to you guys about health and wellness, and I'm really fired up for these next 7 videos. They're going to help you in your journey to wellness and longevity. Trust me, guys, it's something you're going to love me more. I really believe that. All right, and big shout out also to my wife. She's been helping me out there on this picnic that we are today. And don't forget, love anyways. Ciao.